call the meeting to order, and we'll start with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to
to the flag of
flag
the United
of the
States of
United
America
States of America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
with
for all.
justice for all. Thank you. Have the clerk please call the roll.
Okay, for the roll, you need to state that you're attending remotely and from your location. I'll give you example. Clerk Schofield, I am attending remotely from Heartland, Michigan. That's all you need. So Supervisor Fountain,
Supervisor Bill Fountain, and I am remote in Heartland Township.
Treasurer Horning,
Hi, I'm Treasurer Kathy Horning, and I'm in Howell, Michigan, 48843.
Trustee Germain,
Trustee Germain attending remote from Heartland Township, Michigan.
Trustee McMullen,
Trustee McMullen, attending remotely from Heartland, Michigan.
Trustee O'Connell,
Attending remotely from Heartland, Michigan.
Trustee Petruzzi, absent.
Thank you. Item number 4 on our agenda this evening is approval of our agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Treasurer Horning, second by Trustee O'Connell. Is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Hello, the public this evening. Is there anybody called to the public? Bob, I'm going to use your discretion here. I didn't see anybody ring in or anything, so is that our assumption that nobody is going to call the public?
It appears based on the participant level, the only non-township member would be WHMI News. So if there's no call for the public participation from them.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of our consent agenda.
I move approval.
Support.
I had a motion by Trustee Germain, second by Clerk Schofield. Is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We have 2 items this evening on our pending and new business. The first one is Township Hall Fiber Internet Proposal. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Manager West.
Thank you, Supervisor Fountain. Basically, what we're proposing here is the upgrade to fiber optic internet for Township Hall. What we have done is we kind of crutched ourselves along through the past decade or so on a coax cable, and it's equivalent to what is serves a residential home with a slight upgrade. And basically, we switch our phone services over to internet. We are looking at upgrading our cable access channel, and obviously circumstances related to virtual meetings. All those collectively are beginning to tax that line, and it simply can't keep up. We reached out to Comcast, our provider in the area, and the cost is approximately $16,000 for the construction and connection, which Comcast will cover in exchange for a monthly payment of $673.80 a month. While that is a significant increase over the $219 it's currently paid per month, the service is approximately 10 times the capacity, and it is an accurate rate for a commercial fiber optic connection. So this is not an unusual fee. We've been blessed with being able to historically operate on the coax cable, and we have limited resources. There really is no other option as far as said, this would be funded from the township franchise, or the township franchise fees received from Comcast, and I am recommending the approval.
Questions for
move-
Bob?
Oh,
Any questions for Bob?
I'll move to approve the fiber internet proposal 60 month at $673.80 a month with Comcast beginning in early 2021 and to authorize the township supervisor to sign the agreement for fiber internet installation and service.
Support?
I had a motion by Treasurer Horning and I believe a second by Trustee Jermaine. Is that correct? Thank you. Any other discussion?
I have one just quick question on the comparison chart. The BI versus EDI, I'm assuming we're going to the EDI. Is that correct?
That is correct. So,
Okay, there are a couple of items on that state they're add-ons. Are these things that we already have through IT Right? Or are these already baked into the $673 per month?
so we
We ever get to the add-ons?
No, and essentially what we're doing is we are not duplicating any effort. So the cost reflected is in combination with IT Right. If we were to cancel IT Right, there might be some additional add-ons. But I don't know if that answers your question. We are not paying for anything twice for duplicate services. This was basically formed for us based on the level of services we desire.
Okay, that works as long as we're getting that from IT Right. I'm good with that. Okay, thank you.
Larry, were you referring to the router add-on?
There was the routing support. There was the Wi-Fi, which was customer supplied, and the DDoS mitigation service. But again, I believe that the Wi-Fi and the routing would come through IT Right. The DDoS, I thought, was part of the process that service won't be interrupted for any significant amount of time. So if that's included in the 670, I'm good with it.
That is correct. This does include a 4-hour guarantee that if service does drop, fiber optic customers do have a guarantee of 4-hour restoration as a maximum disruption time, which we have historically. In fact, we've already had 3 encounters in the last 6 months where it's been out for more than 4 hours.
That's all I had.
You guys can be patient just for a second. I'm trying to help Joe get online here. Hey, Bob, I got Joe almost on this thing. What's on the landing page on the township website? Where does he go to on that to link in?
So if he'll go to the virtual meetings.
Go to virtual meetings, Joe. It's on the front page, Bob.
It should be at the bottom of the home page. There's 3 boxes. It should be the lower left one. It says how to participate in virtual meetings.
Which website does he go into, Bob? He's into that.
The third link down says visit WebEx, and in parentheses says online meetings. There's a link right there. If he clicks on that, he'll be able to open the meeting.
I see you.
He can see you, Bob.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. We're on. Why don't we do this a little earlier in the day, though?
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Thanks, Joe, for sticking with it.
Well, I'm not a computer wizard, you know that. And so for me to do stuff like this, okay.
Okay, so now that I'm completely out of sync, we were having discussion on the fiber. Did we have a motion and a support?
Yes,
And we were just waiting for the vote, correct?
correct.
So Joe, we are on item number 7A, voting for the township fiber optic hooked up to the township hall.
What advantages will that give us?
So primarily the advantage is capacity. The township hall was historically on the equivalent of a residential coax cable, if you will, service. And that worked well for quite some time. We've been blessed to be able to use that for the past 10 years. And unfortunately, when we upgraded the phone service is internet based. And now we're reactivating our channel 20 local cable access. It's taxing that line, and you get the kind of broken connections. That is further compounded by the actual infrastructure leading to Township Hall, which is not nearly supported. When we have outages, it decreases productivity and kind of puts the township at a standstill, given that both our internet and our phones go down. So there's a substantial capacity. Fortunately, there's only one carrier in the area, so we don't have a actual option to look elsewhere. There are other solutions, but they're just not as robust as what we're seeking here. This is
Is it through AT&T?
no, this is through Comcast. So
Okay,
historically we had problems with AT&T at the facility, which is why we originally switched the phones over.
absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't through AT&T.
No, and actually, what the schools upgraded, don't quote me on this, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, and they are trying to decipher their bill for a comparison. I just said, hey, what are you guys paying? And unfortunately, theirs is a much higher bill, but it's servicing multiple buildings, so they're going to get me a breakdown. But they believe that even on a per building basis, they are paying substantially more than us. So they thought that that was a reasonable deal when I approached them and said, I know you guys connected to fiber. What do you think of this price? Because I think it's high, but we don't really have another option.
And what is the cost difference between what we have now and that?
$220 to basically $673. So there's a substantial increase on a monthly basis. That's per month. It will be funded from our cable franchise fees or the PEG fund, but it definitely is a substantial increase.
Okay.
Joe, we lose our phones and internet quite often. This isn't a small problem.
Okay.
And I had let the other board members know, even in the last 6 months, we've lost at 3 occasions. And furthermore, 2 of those occasions were between 7 and 8 hours of the day we were without. So that means nobody can call township hall, our computers don't work, our phone system's down, and it's just, quite frankly, it's a disservice. If we were to build this building today, they would not even install the coax service for companies.
Okay. I get it.
Any other questions? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much. The second item is a consent judgment, and this is approval of a consent judgment by Heartland Township Board to bring closure to the litigation related to a Heartland Road Pathway project. And there is a recommendation in our packet to approve the consent judgment, including the purchase of real property in the amount of $22,600 less previous payment of the $5,000 as presented. So I would entertain a motion for as such.
Bill, if I can interject real quick, I just want to say there's an error on.
You muted yourself, Bob.
Can you hear me now? If I could interject real quick, I just want to let you know there's an error on the agenda item. It should have been 20,600, not 22,600. So I apologize for that error, but for the motion, if we could correct that to 20,600 for our prior discussion.
Mr. Supervisor, I will recommend action that we approve the consent judgment, including the purchase of real property in the amount of $20,600, less the previous payment of $5,000 as presented.
Support.
I have a motion by trustee Germain, second by clerk Shofu. Is there any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry about that. We have board reports, and we'll start with clerk Shofu.
I have no report.
Treasurer Horning,
Everything's great in the treasurer's department and people are really, getting their payments in and able to make appointments that they need to pay